Hello and a nice welcome from Nuremberg, fresh from our new studio that's powered by Daniel and his team. And a nice welcome to my guests here on our sofa with Hanka and Anna. My name is Thomas Holzner. I'm from Siemens SCM, taking care of the Digi network. And today we have something I'm really proud of. We talk about digital mind and digital mindset. Why I'm so proud? Because Hanka showed me the last version of the How Business Management Review, and there's a main topic called digital mindset. It's quite interesting to read. We can confirm a lot, as we started, I think, in 2019 with Digital Mind, and it's a long, long journey. And we would like to discuss with you here in the room, outside. I think, therefore, we have our chat function. It's not scripted. You can ask any question you would like to raise. And we want to talk about digital mind, the history, a little bit, but especially what are we doing today. It's a pity that Dietmar Hartefeld cannot join due to personal issues. So we will skip his part. We have here, my right-hand side, Anna Werkmeister. She's the CPO of Siemens Mobility Rolling Stock. Several billion purchasing volume, a lot of people, and a lot of challenging factories and difficult suppliers. Why? Because I had the pleasure to work also for mobility some 20 years ago, and I think the suppliers didn't change, the challenges didn't change, so thank that you took the time. And we have Hanka Spittel. Hanka is also from Siemens Mobility, from procurement. I think you're a little bit closer to Anna, and she is, for me, a lighthouse for mindset and digital transformation. I think you're focusing at the moment on digital transformation.
Very much, yes.
So, going back a little bit into the history, Siemens Digi Network or SCM Digi Network started to talk about digital mindset some 3 years ago. Based on Digital Leader, we thought for the people within the company, we have also to offer something similar like in this article. And we developed something. We want to do it in person. Was necessary, a journey. You start with a kickoff, people come together. Then something strange happened, COVID. And from one day to another, we had to go into the home office. And we had to change our concept we developed with blood, sweat, and tears. And then in May, we started to have the first, May 2020, the first Digital Mind workshop. Something like concept board we introduced. We worked with teams, with, in the meantime, it's called WonderMe, different tools. And we had, I think, a nice workshop concept. And Dietmar said, okay, I go for it. I try. And Dietmar is the guy who sits in the UK and is responsible for SCM UK. And the feedback was so enthusiastic that we had a rollout curve like this. And our biggest problem was not having not enough qualified moderators. When we come back to this with Hanka, and a little bit about the keynotes and the motivation speeches with Anna. So we started going, and within 8 weeks we had not to walk, we had to run. And then Siemens Mobility, Rainer Straub, thanks Rainer for the big push, decided, it sounds not bad, I want to do it for my team. And Hanka and Anna said, hey, we are in. And so my first question to Hanka, why did you do it? And not only why did you do it, I think you were one of the first participants.
Mm-hmm.
And a small spoiler, she's now one of our best moderators in the meantime, so she came from outside and is now a part of the core team and covering a lot.
Well,
So
thank you very much. Actually, I got into the workshops thanks to the nomination by Anna. So Sören Heise came to me and told me about Digital Mind and told me, asked me if I wanted to join, and I had no idea what to expect, and I wanted to know more. And well, that's basically how I got in. And we did the first workshop together.
So Anna, Why did you nominate Hanka?
Well, because I came from a company from the outside to Siemens, which was already very advanced in digital transformation, and I knew it's a very valuable but also very difficult journey, which needs support from many different stakeholders. And Hanka at that time, being in the team of Rainer's functional excellence, basically responsible also for topics like competency management, seemed to be for me to be the right person to support this from the central perspective.
Great. So, sounds easy. So, you both were frontrunners supported by Rainer. You nominated Hanka. And to pick you up outside the studio, digital mindset is not about IT or technology. It's more about the setup, the mindset, like in this article, how to take the technology transfer or the challenges that are rising, how we work together, how we lead. I think especially Anna will come back to this a little bit later, that within the digital transformation, the leadership culture will change and is changing. And this we try to consider. And within this consideration, we have workshops with feedbacks. And I think, Hanka, what was your first takeaway from the first workshop? Because your journey started then sooner or later, and there must be something.
The first reaction when I joined the workshop was that I wanted more of it, because I really appreciate the kind of collaboration, the tool setting, all the perfect preparation of the concept board that you could actually lead through 1.5 days in a virtual environment in a very positive way, and really lead the people through this difficult path that Digital Mind is. And afterwards, I talked with Sören Heise about how I could have more of it, and he proposed that I become a moderator, which I didn't want to become in the first place, because I don't think back then I thought I wasn't a natural in that, natural talent, and it still is a bit hard work, but I enjoy that very much, and I take very much out of this in terms of new perspectives. So each workshop is unique due to its participants, and I take new learnings out of this. The chemistry is different each and every time, and as a moderator you have to adapt to that very quickly, so you learn a lot about yourself as well.
Hanka, Hanka, what was finally then the motivation? You said like at the first glance you weren't convinced to become a moderator.
It was it was actually getting out of my comfort zone. So I thought I didn't think I would be able to do it or to get through it through 1.5 days. So usually I prefer working on my own projects. I like to think a lot of things through, but I know that if I wanted to change something, and I do want to change something, especially the way we are working together, we are collaborating, that was my trigger to put myself out there and to become a moderator.
So leaving the comfort zone, but from the core team, the feedback, I think, Hanka, you have a nice comfort zone. I think the feedback was always brilliant, and we are really proud that you joined this. So coming back a little bit to the concept, Digital Mind is a journey into the digital transformation. I think with Anna, we have somebody who's quite experienced. Coming from outside Siemens, you had the pleasure to be in a company that's, from my point of view, very mature. And I think we can maybe also compare a little bit later. And Digital Mind is about taking people, onboard people into on this journey. So we have a workshop based on concept board, 1 day. And then we have something that we copied a little bit also from video games. We have a rewarding system with challenges, where you can collect coins, and the coins you can use for getting rewards. And these rewards are a little bit special, because most of the rewards are things you cannot buy. So, and here we have also the positive situation that my boss, Klaus Staubitz, the CPO of Siemens AG, was very supportive and said, Klaus, we have a wish from you. And say, yeah, what? You have always such strange ideas. And so, yeah, with Digital Mind, we want to give out some awards. Yes, go ahead. One of the awards would be a dinner or coffee with you. I said, huh? With whom? Yeah, with you. And the principle is always the same. So, for example, Hannah took over a challenge, become a moderator. We have about 100 challenges. One is become a moderator. Other one is, for example, do a low-code experience by yourself, or make a self-reflection. So totally different topics, from say a little bit of coding to totally soft skill approaches. And then you get coins, and if you have a certain amount of coins, you can get your reward. And one reward is, for example, coffee with Klaus Staubitzer. So I think Klaus is amazing, because at that time 40 billion euro purchasing volume, and everybody worldwide who had enough coins could go out half an hour for a coffee. And to be honest, this reward was drawn quite often, but only twice a year. And then we had also management jokers, like with Rainer Straub, the CPO of Mobility. He also said, okay, if people want to come, no issue. Or, for example, a dinner with the CEO of Siemens UK. So if you got enough coins, you can hand in the coins and you get something else. But we have also normal things like breakfast with the team, and in very special cases, something like that. So the range is big. And with these challenges you take and collecting coins, we wanted also to create a community, because that's based on teams. And the team, 4 people normally, accept whether you took the challenge, yes or no. So that was the sidestep to Digital Mind. Coming back to Anna. So why did you? Anna also participated as a CPO with several billion euro in the workshop. Like also, for example, the CPO from Siemens US, Patrick Stadtfeld. They participated as a member in the workshop, and then they were also motivational speaker or keynote speaker. So Anna, why this and why that? Start with why did you participate, and did you take something with you?
So why did I participate? For me, it was a pretty easy question. Like, you cannot lead a team and convince a team in doing something if you aren't experiencing it yourself and don't really know what you talk about. So from the one hand side, I have to say I was really very thankful that Siemens provides such an initiative, which is somehow, let's say, a trial and learning space, which is safe to enable people to grow digital skills. So that was from a manager's perspective, let's say, where I thought it's great. And secondly, I also have to say I was a bit curious comparing to what we did in my previous company, where we did a similar journey a couple of years before. How that would look like, and what I really loved was this, and you already described it, this game approach and the challenge approach, and bringing people together in the workshop to meet new people they could go on this journey on together, because that's somehow the tricky part, to experience something new where you're not sure, not feeling safe. There might be like questions which feel silly, and I think that's exactly what Digital Mind allowed, let's say, to really spend a couple of hours in explaining what digital transformation is about, and that it's mainly about people, but then to give them the opportunity to experience it. And I saw this initiative is really great and very powerful, and that's why I also thought we have to push that. And that was my motivation then finally to also join as motivational speaker, explaining a bit from my previous digital journey with my former company, and that it's worth doing it, exploring it, and really investing in these skills, which will be super important in the years to come. And significantly transform how we work in our function.
So one topic is the function. We can also elaborate a little bit later on this. The other topic is we did some exercises before, and Hanka is also working on, say, a reboost of digital leadership. Why should a leader participate in this workshop, or why is leadership so important for Digital Mind?
Because I would say digital transformation means also a complete change of the collaboration models away from the typical, let's say, hierarchical models where managers own more information than team members. We have to get more into really collaborative models. We have to be more agile, more adaptive to get faster, because especially in the procurement function we have to deal these days a lot with what we would call the VUCA world and dealing with the unexpected. And I think when dealing with the unexpected, you need the crowd intelligence rather than always the direction from the one and only manager. It doesn't matter whether it's the team leader, the group leader, or the department head, whatever. So then I'm again back to my previous point. I think as a leader, you can only shape and enable digital transformation in your team if you really understand it yourself and are willing to explore it yourself.
So you're a living example of walk the talk. So you cannot talk about something when you didn't do the walk.
Mm-hmm.
And regarding Hanka, so you did a lot of walk the talk.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get some, say, side information from team members? What was their view after the workshop? Because, to be honest, in the first workshops we thought, oh, we overwhelm a little people with technology with the transformational topic. And what's your, say, takeaway from the team side?
That varies a lot. So we have quite a few participants who really who are very skeptical at the beginning, and you just notice how they open up throughout the first day, and at the end of the first day actually know, oh, this is an idea. I have an idea how I can put this into action, which really is the target of Digital Mind. And you hear them talk about Digital Mind, you hear them talk about the challenges, but we also have quite a few participants who do the workshop, and after that it's done, which is really a sad moment. So they won't continue their journey, even though it's important, even though they know it's important. And I think this is about leadership also. If you have, for example, a department head who says to his group leads, no matter what, send them into that workshop. We will deal with the daily business, but send them into the workshop. Give them the room to explore and to feel free, really, to take the time and think things through from a different perspective, and just sit in that 1.5 days and enjoy it. Then you have the best entrance towards the topic. You can't do anything better than to really give them the time. So you don't give them the means, or that you don't give them some skills, but you give them the time to do that. And I think this is very precious at the moment.
Here we are coming back again to the leadership topic, because the leader have to provide the slots that the people are joining. So I think Anna is here, a best practice example, and I think also Rainer Straub, who's the CPO of Siemens Mobility, is a role model, because I think he has the theme play to win, and Digital Mind and play to win fitted somehow together, and he gives the room because he said, I want that the people can participate. I think what's a little bit a challenge for some of our other colleagues is, I think some of you within the procurement arena are aware about material availability, and I think especially within our colleagues here, we're in the headquarters of Digital Industries. I think everybody is aware that we don't have enough ASICs, resistors, transistors, memory chips, and I think that's a challenge for the individual. You have the possibility to join a workshop for digital transformation, or you hunt material.
And if I may step in there, Thomas, I think that's exactly an equation which doesn't work.
Wonderful.
And I'm saying this because I often heard this as well, and there were people, and Hanka, I think, can confirm that. He said, yeah, why am I here? Yes, okay, because I've been sent by my CPO. I don't have time. But if we look on how we learn and, let's say, how we get positive energy, especially in times where we are stuck in the details, really fighting all day long. I'm having a lot of negative energy because we can't find the parts. Our factories are not happy with our performance, and so on. It's sometimes very valuable to really get one step back. And Digital Mind is exactly, in my view, that where you step out of the business. For sure, you have to make sure your colleagues support you, your colleagues take care of your daily business while you're in that workshop. But it's really an opportunity to reflect what you are doing and to rethink how you could do the same things in a different way going forward, but also take some energy. So whenever I hear this comment, I'm normally just recommending, like, try to see it from a different perspective. It's a growth opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn how to deal with the unexpected, how to deal with the VUCA world. That's what digitalization in the end is also about. And getting some new, let's say, techniques, ideas, but also friends and networking colleagues in the workshop.
Thanks for, elaborating on this, because being in the part, or having been a CPO in the past with wind power, where we had the same issue with no material, a lot of pressure, a lot of new innovations, and not enough time. I think if you forget about your own skills, especially soft skills, then you will lose in the long term. I think our CEO sometimes talks about incumbent syndrome. So you're already quite good, and then why should I do more? And I think here, especially with mobility, when I think with the Egypt contract, it's a huge, massive block of work. And nevertheless, you're investing in the soft skills. And I think I'm amazed.
I mean, there's always reasons why you find excuses why not, let's say, getting out what Hanka called of the comfort zone, or really questioning yourself. And I can fully understand that. But I can only encourage people, and especially also, I think some procurement colleagues from the other divisions who might exactly have this thinking, I'm better at chasing parts than going to DigiMind. Give it a second thought. Try to find somebody who takes care of your business for 1 or 2 days to make it possible, and it will help you doing your job going forward and investing into a skill set which is key in 5 years from now. But I know it's not always easy, and I think Hanka, there are some door openers, but also some blocking points you also perceived in the workshops. Perhaps you can elaborate a bit more on that.
So one of the openers really was the clear communication towards the team, take the time. But we also experienced some blocking points when people, you had this example, when people come into the workshop and say, I was forced to be here, and unfortunately that really has some sort of small domino effect actually. So 2 or 3 others will say and will agree, yeah, I'm also not quite voluntarily here. And I think that's very that's very sad, because we try to motivate, of course. We try to nudge them a little to see it exactly from a different perspective, and it's an offer. We are offering that possibility to be part of this community, because we will be needing the community. And I said it already, we're not going for one expert. We are needing the crowd intelligence. We are needing the teams. We are needing the communities where we can draw energy from, where we can draw knowledge from. And this is one step into this new kind of collaboration. As the teams, or as the whole Digital Mind community on Yammer, where you can draw from other people's experience. And I think this is something we can use to practice our communication skills without chasing for parts, without pressure. And so that one blocking point, I was forced here, is really something I still find in our organization too often, in which if I could change it from within the second, I would do it, because I hope that we get a lot more of our people through the workshop voluntarily, not forced, of course.
Yeah, I remember we had one or two persons who said they were forced. What was interesting, and I appreciate always to be honest, and one guy, it was a he, said, I was forced to do this, but now I'm happy that my boss forced me to do it. And why? Because after the workshop we bring the people together in a team of mainly 4 people, and they should continue the story. And I have to apologize, I'm not hired by Siemens Mobility, but they are a role model. And one of the oldest teams is from Heinrich Heister. He's the head of cost and value engineering of Siemens Mobility. And by accident, I was a kind of, say, invited coach into their weekly meeting. And since January 21, they meet every Thursday, extended in the meantime the team, and talk half an hour in the morning about their experiences, their challenges, and how they can support each other. And it's very heterogeneous, because there are some people from your organization and from a totally different organization. I have a Friday afternoon team every second Friday afternoon for 30 minutes with 3 people from Canada and 1 guy from Erlangen. So it's amazing, and that thing's all about people. That's my say. But from, say, your point of view, what are the success factors that Digital Mind has in the meantime a quite good basis? Anna?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's hierarchy free, which is super important. And you just mentioned it, and I also continued my Digital Mind journey. So we are not meeting that often, but from time to time, and it's let's say 3 different hierarchy levels, which are in that group. And for me, it's also extremely interesting to get direct feedback from contributors, basically on how they might see stuff, which isn't filtered then through 3 or 2 other hierarchy levels in between. So that's really valuable for me. Secondly, I would say the real value is really to have a safe space to experiment, to try out new things. So there's no right, no wrong, there's no silly question. And I think the moderators like Hanka really provide a very comfortable atmosphere where nobody fears I cannot ask this question. And then I really like the concept of having these challenges, and I call it travel groups. It's most likely not the right expression, but that you get your travel group together to explore digital transformation together, because digital transformation in the end, for me, it's a journey. It's a journey of transforming organization, but especially of managing change, and it's all centered around people. So the people are in the middle of that. Digital transformation wouldn't happen without the people, and that's where DigiMind, for me, in terms of the format, is really great, because it combines digital literacy, digital capabilities, with really a people-centric, hierarchy-free approach. Hanka, what would you add?
I think our approach for small RSP is the success factor, because we offer each month a workshop, and we encourage the people to join. We really try to mix them a little, our participants, with other businesses if there are interested persons. But I think really this continuous journey that we are going, that we started in April. I think we agreed to do this on a monthly basis, April last year, and this is permanently present in our organization. So we are talking about it. We are writing on Yammer posts, and I hope that we can keep this journey for our organization alive for quite some while.
And perhaps to add, why is it so valuable? Because also the type of products we are going to procure in the future would significantly change. So, I mean, what I saw in Siemens is that we really have an extremely high-skilled procurement workforce. So very mature procurement organizations, I would say, very high skill set. But looking forward, trains won't be a mechanical product anymore. I mean, our CEO sometimes talks about software on wheel. So we are talking about accelerator. So really going into an ecosystem in having more software solutions and so on. And that's somehow completely new area for procurement, where we want to develop our workforce in, rather than, let's say, hiring a lot of external persons, which might come with that skill set but don't have the Siemens legacy. So that's another element for me, where Digital Mind really supports the business and the business success.
So I hope that the people outside are saying supporting this, because I mentioned this topic because we have this chat function, and now I would like to encourage you. We have about 40 minutes to go if you have questions, and we can now interact. And the first question was a question I think we have from Lisa, a big in capital letters. I love that. Take the time. So I think people appreciate. And here. Another guy who is talking about SCM change management and doing SCM HR lab. No challenges. It's a pity. Also no coins. I think that's a topic. We had this discussion more often. I think what you're saying, Anna, that's something also close to my heart. We are working on this within the Digi network. We have now an ecosystem training, especially for SCM design. I think we want to publish it end of September, October. We had 2 lead projects, and especially with HR, we had a 50 minutes before the start, we exchanged a little bit that we have also in the meantime a lead project, a prototype for HR procurement, because what we noticed, we did a kind of survey benchmark outside Siemens, whether there's a consultancy who can show us a HR transformation of a procurement function. And we didn't find somebody. I think a lot of people are talking about, but there's a nice saying about there's quite a difference between talking and making. And I cannot translate the German phrase, but I think at the end of the day, it's a different experience. And we started again within Siemens Mobility with another peer review, with a tremendous feedback. And we also did now the first step within our purchasing pooling unit. We've also quite happy. We are quite happy about the feedback, and it's again changing the rules of the game. As you said, procurement in 5 years will be different from what we are doing now. So when you think or say it's different, what would be, for example, your expectation towards Digital Mind? What we could add, or if we do a Digital Mind 2.0, what should we change? And I didn't ask the question before, so the 2 ladies have now to say reset and rethink.
I think I don't like the word of change here. I would rather say further develop or continue the journey, because as I said, I think it's not you're doing DigiMind workshop and then you're a DigiMind. It's a first step, and I think we have to invest more in the journey. So therefore my recommendation would just be to build on what we did, but even go a bit further, taking into consideration, let's say, that innovation cycles might get much faster. We need to be much closer with our suppliers, for example, if it comes to aligning technology roadmaps, to really exploring also their capabilities to bring our product forward. We have to be more agile in internally. So I think really also stronger process focus. But then, and that's from my perspective perhaps the most important point. It doesn't help if procurement is the front runner and the rest of the organization is still wondering like, what the hell are they doing? So from my perspective, one of the elements going forward, which would be super helpful, and I hope you're not unhappy with me now for saying that, but incorporate more of our cross functions also in that journey, who might still be, let's say, hesitating about the topic, because in the end, we are not a standalone function. We are very integrated with the projects, all the product businesses, and especially the engineering, and can only, let's say, shape the way forward if cross collaboration has the same thinking, and the cross functional teams understand what we are after.
This is something I would also support immediately, because we have during the workshops often the questions, are other functions doing the same kind of workshop? And I have to say, well, actually this is a product, a wonderful product from the SCM organization, SCM Digi Network, and I'm not quite sure whether they are doing it, but it would be perfect if we could actually put different cross functions together. For example, we have already had guests from the quality management team, from the SQM organization, but I think you had the first-hand experience with CVE and EN.
That's correct. We did together with Hendrik, the colleague of Anna, a cross-functional workshop with the engineering department, and it was quite okay. That the challenge is, at that time we didn't have more moderators to cover additional demand, and the second topic, and that's more crucial from my point of view, who's the owner? So I think Digital Mind is fully aligned with Growth Mindset initiative of our board member Judith Wiese. We did benchmarks with Amazon, with Microsoft in 2019, so we have a lot of the DNA of Growth Mindset. But at the end of the day, as you also mentioned in between the lines, it's about ownership. So if somebody outside procurement would like to join, we will support. No way, we will do it. It's a pity that Dietmar can't be here today, because he is doing it already in the UK. I think they are island, so it's a little bit easier. And they are a little bit more homogeneous in their area, and they have people from sales, from controlling, from engineering on a regular basis in the Digital Mind workshops. And from my point of view, if you bring your engineering or manufacturing colleagues, we will organize workshops suited to the cross functions. That would be the first answer. The second answer is the suppliers. If you bring 2 or 3 suppliers, we will do a prototype. I know a quite good moderator who couldn't support me here. And then the 3 of us can do it, or somebody else from the network. And then we do it with suppliers. I think here, as we don't talk about KPIs or business figures, it's not a problem, but I think it's again the commitment topic. And if you bring somebody to the party, we will host the party with pleasure.
That's a wonderful commitment. Thanks, Thomas.
Welcome. And what's interesting, during the time I asked you the question, Konrad asked also, how does DigiMind evolve in the future? What's your vision of DigiMind 2.0? My personal vision is also answering the second question from DS. We have a follow-up workshop, a reconvene workshop planned. We are working quite agile. I think the team decided to rework it. I would be totally happy, but the team says we have to rework. So there's a reconvene workshop with, say, about 80-90% ready. And then we can hopefully continue the journey on a different level. On the other hand side, for Holger, regarding the other challenges like SCM HR Lab, we are running a Mind, I call it 4.0, procurement goes HR. So I think in here is coming what you are stressing in a positive way, that we have to think about our mindset and our approach, that we need maybe not 100%, but more HR elements. Like Robert Neuhauser, he's our guy from people in organization for HR, and he was the CEO of the most important business unit of Siemens. He changed the whole business unit, especially the R&D department, into an agile mode. And I think from guys like Robert, we can learn, and I think it's possible. 100% change? No. But we should do it like in a modular approach. We take the things where we think it fits. And we had also a chat that maybe the one or the other is curious about what could be applicable. And regarding Jonathan, he wants to know where he can learn about Digital Mind. The best is you send me an email, and I would put you in the place that you can join a Digital Mind workshop. So now we do now it comes to non-disclosed PR slot. We have in the meantime more than 1,666. That's especially for Lien participants, and I would say from the 1,666, 1,500 are voluntary. There minimum. We have more than 100 workshops. We have several thousand challenges in the meantime, where people have been working on. Tons of coins and rewards, and therefore we are further developing, and we are using also this event here to approach. There are in the meantime 2,500 people left which we can address within SCM. But if people from sales, from controlling, from engineering, from manufacturing would come and say, let's go for it, I think we're more than happy to support. Also some other topics here now with the local topic, and also Lisa, she's registered now. Great. So because we do it now in a little bit different, we invite people not for mobility or DI or SI. We call them open for all workshops. I'm thinking you're some person who have also some experience with open for all workshops. This means everybody can join, and it's not important from which area.
Right.
Is there different culture within these workshops, or what's your observation?
For me, it has a different energy, because when we do our workshops every month within small RSP, I know most of the people. So there is a different period. The period that I get to know the participants is a lot shorter than when I'm going into an open for all. But this is holding a very special energy in terms of different moderators, and I always love to work with all the different moderators. So I've worked with Oliver and Alexander for many workshops in the past year. Now I'm working with Doreen, and this is my chance to get to know a world outside of mobility, actually. So this is special for me in that case.
So not cross-functional. Here we have the cross-organizational topic. And not to forget, I think, when we talk about mobility or digital industries or smart infrastructure, these are companies, several billion euro turnover, double digit. So it's not like another factory. And therefore also the culture is a little bit different. But I think what's always the same, we have to change for the future. I think with the growth mindset, with the new accelerator topic of Roland Busch, where we as Siemens will see a lot of changes, and we try to support. Sina just mentioned in the chat, I think we have several articles about Digital Mind in the intranet available. Some are on LinkedIn. A little bit, we will continue this stories. Regarding our other topic with HR, we have the question from, I think it's Holger. Yes, Holger, with the challenges for HR Lab. I think he is thinking about collecting coins. And Holger, I can only recommend, I think that's our culture. You can write a challenge card. Somebody of you, of us will coach you. And for writing a challenge card, you get coins. So you have then two wins. One, you get coins for the challenge card, and then you can adapt the challenge card towards HR. So participating in the HR lab exercise could maybe then also create coins for yourself or your team. So I think we have 5 minutes to go. We don't have a lot of questions from the outside. I'm going now into details with, say, the bad experiences. We talk always about the good things. Are there some things you would like to change?
To change. To change about. Actually, I don't. I wouldn't change anything about Digital Mind right now. I think it's a working concept. It's a great concept. No, can't think of anything right now.
I would say I would love to change from these mobility-centric workshops towards more open workshops, including participants from DI, SCM, SI, whoever. So I would love to have some of you guys outside there also joining the workshops to really taking advantage of what Thomas and Hanka just described, to even strengthen our networks across businesses.
That's encouraging. Thanks a lot. Regarding this approach, I think I will come back to you. Maybe we talk with the one or the other BU CPO, business unit, chief procurement officer. One topic, I think, that therefore I wrote it down, I think especially this topic with the suppliers, that was not on our list. We had some ideas, but I think that's something we could start working, say, after your holiday. I think it's the last day before you go to holiday.
That's right.
And then take it up from there. I think with Hanka, revival of digital leadership, that's also something we want to do. We want to do it online. I think that's something that was also in this article. I think we did a lot of things in the correct way, that we go away from in-person workshops to hybrids. We say we offer it online, that people from all around the world can participate. And here, thanks a lot to Rodrigo in the US, or Jinchi in China, or Venkesh and Mukesh in India, because they're also supporting Digital Mind workshops on a global base. So it's not a German or a Dach or a European, it's a totally global approach where we bring people together. And I personally, I think my next workshop is the beginning of September with the UAE, where Alex will be the lead and I will be a co-moderator. And maybe, I don't know who will be the keynote speaker, but I have somebody in my mind. So, I had to make a promise to Daniel for you who is who you are seeing this format the first time. We don't have a highly professional agency. We do it by ourselves. We have a small team here with one guy, and the other guy sitting over there, it's Daniel. I think we can also talk about the cost. This whole show costs us 2,500 euro. We're coming from comparisons, benchmarks from 30 to 50,000 euros. So if not everything is technically complete, it's by purpose, because we go for 80% and not 100%. And so I have to say a lot of thank you to Daniel. And then also we have somebody from communication, Sina, who is taking care of this. Thanks also a lot to the three of you. And regarding our future, so my summary, my takeaways. We do something with the suppliers. We do something with other CPOs outside mobility. You think about a reconvene workshop a little bit more, and we get another request. And we will talk maybe sooner or later again. Here in this place, we talked about maybe 6 months, depending on the feedback and the results, and share your experiences. And I like always to a little bit break the rules. I don't want to have the last word. I think the two ladies who took the time should have the last word. So I hand over to you to do the exit of today, because then I don't change and kill the time slot and the time boxing, because that's, I always hear from my team, time boxing is something you should exercise, and now I hand it over to you.
That's a perfect topic, by the way, and that's perhaps my last word. So try to do something differently every day. That was also the motto of our last offsite, where we actually introduced time boxing to our team. So DigiMind is about changing yourself every day in the small bits. It's about, for me, continuous improvement rather than the very big things. And that's what I love about the workshop. That's what I love about, let's say, being part of this journey, and where I want to encourage all of you out there, just rethink what you're doing every day and try to make a continuous step forward in whatever it might be, privately or personally. Then you're automatically becoming somehow a digital mind. Hanka.
Thank you. So I can also only encourage you to join Digital Mind if you haven't participated so far. So I'd be more than happy to have several businesses and meet other people for our workshops, and hope to see you then.
And Thomas and team, thanks a lot for having us. Thank
Welcome.
you. It was a pleasure.
So